when I actually buy the bunnies, I will take a picture and post it in Discord for everybody to see that the chocolate bunnies have officially been purchased, and this chocolate bunny joke that's been going on for the past 2 years can be deaded. All right, but even then, we'll find a way to bring it back. Say it again.
It's more than 2.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to JHouze Radio, episode 66. We appreciate you guys joining us here. It's definitely hot in here. We appreciate you guys joining us here.
The air conditioner. So you keep talking. I'm gonna take 2 steps away.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah. So JHouze Radio, episode 66, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out live or checking out the audio version of the podcast as well. We're going to be talking about the Predator franchise. The most recent addition to the franchise is Prey. That is on Hulu right now. And yeah, we're going to be jumping into all I can hear myself.
Yeah, sorry, I had to fix that.
Nah, it's all good.
You should be good now.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about Prey today, the most recent film in the Predator franchise, and just going over all the films in the Predator franchise itself, giving our thoughts on it, and letting you guys know what we think about it, and jumping into a few other news topics as well. Once again, I feel like we're almost talking about this guy every other episode. Ezra Miller has been arrested again on the account of burglary, trying to steal alcohol from a Vermont home.
Vermont.
Vermont.
I
feel like I said that so weird. I don't know why I said it like that. Vermont home. For one, why is this guy stealing alcohol? Was he not just in like 10 movies in like the past like 5 years? Why are you stealing alcohol?
Mental illness, dude. He has mental illness. He needs counseling. He needs medication.
Yeah, I noticed. I don't understand it, man. I mean, it sucks right now because DC is in the process of trying to decide if they're gonna scrap the Flash now because it's just too much.
I don't think they will.
They say that they're contemplating what they're going to do. They say they're either going to scrap it or they're going to reshoot it.
They can easily scrap the Batgirl movie because it's a Latina as Batgirl, and heaven forbid, you have a little variety of races as a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But I personally believe they won't do it because not only is there so much money invested in it, there's so much time invested in it, and if they scrap the movie, that just means they're going to release it on HBO Max or whatever the hell it's going to be called in a couple years and release it there.
Yeah, I forgot. HBO Max is in the process of getting a name change because
they're merging with Discovery Plus.
They're merging. Yeah, they're going to put the Discovery Plus shows, features, whatever you want to call it, in with the HBO Max features, and it's going to be a whole new thing. We're going to get that sometime, I think, next summer. I believe next summer or next spring. We're going to be getting that. So, yeah. I don't know. It's messy right now. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. I hope they don't scrap it. I think that, like you said, that's way too much money to just scrap that film.
I think they need to put it on HBO Max and forget theatrical.
But then again, I'm pretty sure they probably already have contracts set up with Miller, contracts set up with Keaton and everybody else to make a certain amount of money in the box office. Because if they do that, they're going to have an issue just like Black Widow, where they're going to try to sue DC.
No,
or
because Ezra Miller is not a star. He doesn't demand the same star power as Henry Cavill, as Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Think about it. He's essentially been in one movie, and that's it.
I mean, he's been in like a few little movies
I'm
here and
talking
there.
In the DC world.
Oh yeah. In the DC world, yeah, he's only been in one so far. No, two. No, one. You're right. Just one.
One. Cameos don't really count because it's 10 seconds.
Yeah, true. Just mainly Justice League, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm just disappointed that they're going forward with Twinkle Batman.
Twinkle Batman? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, they have another 2 movies set up for the Batman film that we got. I'm just curious where they're going to go now because what's the name? That played the previous Batman is coming back to reprise his Batman role in Aquaman. That has
Ben
been put
Affleck.
out. Ben Affleck's coming back. So and then now we have the original Batman coming in, Michael Keaton. So it's like it's so many Batmans. Like, where are we going with this? There was a recent call with the head of DC um recently stating that they're ready to start taking DC more serious. They want to start going the route that the MCU is going right now, and they're in looks for their own Kevin Feige to kind of run everything. So I'm hoping to get things in order and try to get all this figured out. And
See,
I'm
but this isn't the first time other studios have tried to imitate Marvel's success.
mhm.
Do you remember the Dark Universe,
Yeah,
Universal Dark Universe?
yeah,
They all try to repeat it, but they don't seem to understand that the Marvel, the phenomenon that is the Marvel movies happened by accident. Marvel had sold off the rights to their most popular characters in the 90s because they were losing, they were on the verge of bankruptcy and the company was going to close down. So what happens is they took their second tier
yeah.
superheroes, one of them being Iron Man,
Mhm.
and they picked Robert Downey Jr., okay, who at the time was not really a famous person. He was kind of box office poison because of his, criminal history and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
which he turned his life around. And then they released the movie, and it happened to be a success. They're like, hey, we got Thor. Let's try to do something with that. And
Yeah.
then that was kind of a mild success. Because if you look at the box office numbers of Iron Man, Thor, Dark Worlds, and whatever else was in there too,
Yeah.
they're not great numbers. They are not Marvel numbers. You
Yeah.
understand? They're just really good for a movie. They're not great. They're not awesome. They're not phenomenal. They're just really good.
Yeah.
So the MCU kind of got success by accident. So when you're trying to repeat that, you have, I mean, like, how are you going to do it? Like, you have Batman, who's an icon, Wonder Woman, who's had two successful movies, Aquaman, who's going to have two successful movies, right? It's kind of hard to repeat it. You'd have to build it around the character where it seems accidental, like Shazam, where you have Shazam, who is a movie completely different from anything else from the DCEU or the DCU now.
Yeah.
And if you build upon that, that would be more interesting. Like Shazam happens to fall into these, problems and situations, and Superman shows up to help. He goes to investigate something at Gotham, and Batman is there. You know what I'm trying to say? It has to happen almost accidental. And I think through a character like Shazam, I think it's easier to weasel their way in.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Or if you build it off Twinkle Toes Batman, there are people like me who refuse to watch that movie because of who he is. And if you talk about Joker, okay, which Joker are you going to throw in? The one that was supposed to be a one-off with what's his name?
Uh,
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, are you going to add him there all of a sudden, or are you going to look for a totally different Joker? Like, there's so many problems with it. You'd have to get rid of the current Superman, the current Wonder Woman, the current Shazam, the current Aquaman, and start recasting from the beginning.
I feel like personally the only, in my opinion, the only character that I think they can just kind of keep around and just let continue doing their thing is Shazam at this point. Ezra Miller as Flash, we don't know what's gonna happen with that. Batman, like you said, that's all over the place. Joker, all over the place. You can probably stick with Aquaman because I think you can stick with Aquaman, just staying with that same character, like
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa playing Aquaman. I think that's fine, and same thing for Wonder Woman. I mean, those are probably the only few characters that can kind of do their own thing. But they're gonna have to change Flash, and they're definitely gonna have to figure out what the heck is going on with Joker and Batman. But it's that though those three things are just kind of like a mess and too confusing right now, especially Batman and Joker. What are we gonna do with that? If you're trying to go this MCU route, you guys gotta pick a foundation and stick with it. Because right now, I just feel like we're all over the place.
It
So
not only is it all over the place, it's confusing. It's all the tones of the movies are very different. There's no single plot thread through it. And where do you add the TV shows in it? Or do you start it all in TV shows and then go to movies? It's sort of a little odd.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, they're in the process of rebooting everything, so let's just see what happens from here. I'll tell you one
So
thing. Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead, and then I'll go.
No, I was gonna say I'll tell you one thing. I'm definitely not looking forward to what they're supposedly gonna do with the new Joker movie. It's supposed to be a musical, supposedly. That's still the rumor.
What's going to be a musical?
The next Joker movie. You didn't hear about
No.
that? So the new Joker. So apparently, when the Joker first came out, the one with Joaquin Phoenix, it was supposed to be a one-off. Now they're making a sequel, which is kind of random, and they're going to have Lady Gaga in there to play a character right along with him. Everybody's assuming it's going to be Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And the rumor is, at first it was a pretty light rumor. Now it's a heavy rumor that it's supposed to be a musical. And I don't understand why. What is the look on your face, Los?
Oh no, I'm just looking at the game score.
Oh man, what's the game
Still
score?
hasn't changed. You guys are still up by 3.
Okay, we're gonna win tonight, guys. We're gonna win. Chat, by the end of this episode, we're gonna give you guys an update on my team winning, and I will be a happy man.
Hey,
Um,
listen, man. You never know.
yeah, I don't know. That's the rumor that the next Joker film is supposed to be a musical. Which if that is the case, I don't like why. Like, what are we doing at this point? I'm kind of losing faith
It's
in
ridiculous.
DC.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Kevin Smith in an interview recently talked about that DC was doing an anthology TV series. Okay, you know what an anthology TV series is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he was going to do Bizarro. Okay?
Okay.
And not only that, Bizarro was going to be played by Nicolas Cage,
Okay.
and they canceled it. And do you know the importance of Nicolas Cage playing Bizarro?
What?
He almost played Superman.
I did hear about that. I did hear about that.
So he
I
was going
forgot
to play
where I heard that.
Bizarro. Yeah.
I forgot where I heard that, but yeah, I did hear that Nicolas Cage almost played Superman, which would have been an interesting take on that with him playing that character. But I guess okay. We're gonna jump into our main topic, and that is the Predator franchise. We're gonna go over all the Predator films, give our thoughts on it, and we're also gonna review Prey, which is the most recent Predator film that released a few days ago on Hulu. So, Predator franchise. First one we're going to jump into. The original Predator, which came out in 1987, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Los.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. What you think of the film? Thumbs
Loved
up.
it.
Loved it.
Absolutely loved that movie. That movie was so good in so many ways because it starts out and you think it's a typical war style movie,
Yeah.
and then they introduce the Predator and it becomes something else. And then the simple fact, by the way, do you know the Predator was that movie? They don't name the country, but later on in the original draft of the script, you find out that's supposed to happen in Guatemala.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they mentioned it in the movie like once, maybe.
No, they don't. They
okay.
don't. It's in a draft of the script where it's there in one of the comic books. But needless to say, I love how the movie turned from just a straight war movie to a survival movie to a horror movie almost.
Agreed.
Because I mean, think about it, in the jungle, everything seems so enclosed. You feel so trapped. You can't see where anything is. And here's this alien coming to kill all of you, and you don't even know where it's coming from. Amazing movie. Amazing movie.
Agreed. I pretty much feel the same exact way that you felt. Like, yeah, when I remember watching this movie when I was a kid, I don't remember watching a trailer or anything. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw the movie, thinking, like you said, typical army film, basically. And then when I realized that there was something hunting him, it's like genius. I love when films try to pull you in one direction and make you look over here, and then all of a sudden it like freaking strikes you from behind with something completely different that you're not expecting. And that's exactly what that film did.
Yeah.
it had some pretty heavy hitters in there. You know, it had Jesse Ventura, who was big into wrestling during that time.
Excuse me. If you're gonna say his name properly. It's Jesse the Body Ventura.
Excuse me. The Body. Jesse the
Thank you.
Body Ventura is in there. Arnold Schwarzenegger is in there. The action is also just amazing, and the way the Predator kills, the way he hunts, it's just at that time it was something that we just never seen before, and he's just a cool freaking character, man. Cool freaking
He is.
character, you know, and like the design of it, like its face, like with the mouth and the little claws. Oh, it was just I freaking love it. So as a, like up to this day, the Predator one is probably my favorite film out of all the Predator movies. But I'll give you more of my take on that later after talking about the rest of the films.
Yeah.
Um,
So there's 3 trivia facts about the Predator you need to know about.
Lay 'em on me.
One, uh, at the final scene, the helicopter pilot, Kevin Peter Hall, the black guy who was the helicopter pilot,
Yeah.
he was the person in the Predator suit.
Really?
But he was also the original person in Predator suit was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Wait, that's supposed to be the Predator?
Yeah, the original person in the Predator suit was Jean-Claude Van Damme, and they fired him, and they hired this guy, Kevin Peter Hall, who was
What?
super tall. John McTiernan, the one who did Predator, also did Last Action Hero. He did Die Hard. He did The Hunt for Red October. He did Die Hard with a Vengeance. He did the Thomas Crown Affair, The 13th Warrior, which is a movie I really like.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done a lot of good movies.
Yeah, those are definitely some good movies for sure. The film also had a really killer soundtrack. Like that original theme song of the Predator franchise is freaking awesome. I love it.
Yes.
And let me see. And it also, yeah, it's just also altogether just a great action film. Honestly, it's to this day it still holds up. I think they did like an HD remaster that I watched recently, and it looks amazing. It looks amazing in freaking high definition. So
And the whole camouflage, the Predator's camouflage was a new special effect that is never done before.
really
Yeah. So even that was brand new.
interesting. Well, so yeah, that is the Predator. And that came out 1987.
Yep.
All right. So let's jump into the next one. Predator 2.
Oh, wait. My last bit of trivia.
Go for it.
Do you know who the voice of the Predator was?
I thought they just used some kind of like weird like sound like from a computer or something. I didn't know he had like oh well yeah, he did talk. You're right. He did talk like towards the end.
No. All those little sounds and stuff, somebody was paid to do it.
Really?
It was Peter Optimus Prime Cullen.
Get the heck
He
out of here.
did the voice of the Predator.
Wow. Okay. I honestly I thought they got some weird animal or some like a weird electronic noise from a computer to actually do that sound. That's actually really
No, it was
interesting.
him. It was him. It was it was Optimus Prime himself.
Big ups to Optimus Prime, chat. Adams in chat, how's it going, man? How you doing? Adams, what is your favorite Predator movie, by the way? We're talking about the Predator franchise tonight. So yeah, Predator, the original one, Arnold Schwarzenegger, classic action film. I think that made it pretty deep in our action film tournament. I think I gotta
Yes.
double check that. It made it pretty deep in our tournament. We need to do another one of those tournaments, by the way. That was actually really fun. I like that.
Yeah. The other thing too about Predator is it's so rewatchable.
Yes, it is. I think out of all of the Predator films, part one to this day is probably the one I watched the most, especially that last like 20-30 minutes of the film when he's like setting up traps for the Predator and they're like kind of going at each other. It's just great filmmaking, man. Great
Yeah.
filmmaking. Let's go jump into Predator 2. 1992, starring Danny Glover, Bill Paxton, and Maria Alonso.
Maria Conchita Alonso,
What
who
did
my
what did
brother actually met.
your brother met her? Really?
Yeah, my brother was a flight attendant. He actually met her. He has a picture with her and everything.
Awesome.
He said she was one of the sweetest people.
She was definitely a very well-known actress back in the 80s/90s for sure.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Predator 2, Los?
I enjoyed it. I don't know why people have so much hate for it.
Me neither. Me neither. It's actually not a bad film.
I mean, is it the same formula as the first Predator? No, because movies need to evolve.
Yes.
And the thing that I like most about it is because it is so different.
Same.
I mean, think about it. You have. Well, let me pull it up to guarantee that I didn't miss anybody.
Okay.
You have Gary Busey before his motorcycle accident. You have Ruben Blades. People who don't know who Ruben Blades is, he played Danny, and he's a salsa singer. He's famous for it. Okay. You have the return of Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator. You have Bill Paxton in it. You have Adam Baldwin in it. You have Robert Davey in it. Morton Downey Jr. is in it. You have so many great actors in it, and Bill Paxton is hysterical in it. And I still remember his joke from that movie.
What was his joke?
Do you?
I forgot. No, I don't remember.
He goes, and mind you, I'm just kind of rushing through it so we can go through the review. He basically says, I went to the doctor's office, and the doctor says he needed a stool, sperm, and urine sample. He goes, Doc, I'm in kind of a hurry. Can I just leave you my underwear?
Wow. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Paxton was actually one of my favorite actors back in that time. For real. He really was. I think this film was definitely it wasn't a bad film. I was a big fan of Danny Glover as well. It was nice to see the Predator go from the jungle to the city. That was something interesting. It was a nice change of pace. And you also get to see the Predator evolve over time, different weapons and the way he hunts and kills and things like that. So I thought it was a pretty good sequel. I mean, yeah, was it as good as the first one? Definitely not, but it's rewatchable. It's fun. It's a good popcorn flick.
I think the worst part of Predator 2 is the first opening scene.
Yes, I was not a fan of the opening scene either. I thought it was
confusing.
Yeah, it was a little confusing because it just kind of threw you. And side note, anybody who was watching us live or listening to us, we're gonna have some spoilers in here for some of these films. A lot of these films are over 10 years old. So,
Predator 2 came out. What year did it come out?
1992.
92, bro. Come on, you're gonna tell me in 30 years you haven't seen this movie?
So yeah, mild spoilers, guys. Mild spoilers. Yeah, the first 10-15 minutes of the movie, we're thrown into some weird fight in the streets in the middle of downtown New York, I'm guessing. LA, and they're hunting down this gang. It was just a little weird. The pacing was kind of weird in the beginning of the film, honestly.
I mean, I understand they wanted to establish these guys as a team, but I felt like if you kept the opening scene but shot it a little differently and had it a little less confusing, I think the movie would have been that much better. It was a good movie. I think after that point, the movie takes off.
Yeah, same. I there's a few times where I watch the film and I just skip the first 15 minutes and just go to the rest of the film.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
and they kept the music from the first one, which was another bonus.
Yeah, they actually kept that, kind of like how Michael Myers has his theme song, Freddy Krueger has his theme song, the Predator has his theme. And they kept that throughout all the movies, basically, which is actually a nice touch. All right, the next Predator film that we're jumping into here, Aliens vs. Predator 2004, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. For one...
Dark Legion gave you thumbs down.
Listen, Legion in chat, don't you dare. Don't you dare, okay?
He dared and he did it.
You're supposed to be on my side, buddy. You knew me first. Anyways, so everybody knows that I have a love-hate relationship with Paul W. Anderson. He makes some good films once in a blue moon. And when he makes bad films, they're terrible. This film basically has Sanaa Lathan in it. She was a tour guide. She helped people climb mountains and so on and so forth. She's called upon to help discover this underground temple. And a group of scientists needed her help to try to discover this temple and figure out what was going on there. Obviously, there was aliens there. And for some reason, which I feel like was kind of explained, but not really explained in the film, the aliens and the predators just kind of had beef with each other. It was...
No, the aliens, the predators breed the aliens so they can hunt the alien, because supposedly the aliens are the ultimate prey. AVP, as this movie's more commonly known as,
Yeah.
is a terrible movie. Terrible movie.
I don't remember if this is based off the game or the game spawned. I mean, the movie spawned the game, because I know the Alien versus Predator game was pretty big during that time. I don't remember which one came first. I gotta look
I
into
think the
that.
movie came first.
I'm about to look it up right now. AVP game.
But here's the other thing too: is like they tried. What the hell was his name?
Oh, 2010, by the way. That's when it
Charles
came.
Whaling, the guy who's the head of the whole expedition to go down the big hole that was bored in the ice.
Yeah.
He played Bishop in Alien 2, the robot. So they're trying to say that Bishop
Yeah.
was modeled off of the owner of the Whaling Corporation.
Oh,
Like
is that what that was about?
Yes.
Okay, I was confused because Bishop, for anybody who doesn't know, is one of the robots that was an alien. Well,
Two.
that was an Aliens, yeah.
Aliens.
Alien 2. Yeah, technically. And when I saw Bishop in the Aliens, he died technically, like they killed the robot. So when I saw
Yeah.
him in this movie, I was like, wait, why is Bishop back? I was so confused. And then I was like, all right, maybe he's behind all this. Maybe he's like setting them up. But no, he's a human. So like you said, yeah, I guess they designed the robot after the creator of the Whaling Corporation. And that was never really established, which I wish they kind of dove into that. Because for anybody, like, it just wasn't touched on. It's like, oh, hey, here's Bishop.
Do you
Like,
know
he's
how
human.
I found out about it?
How?
You know how I found out about it?
What?
Director's comment.
Oh, see, no, I need to look at the director's comments.
Yeah.
I
Like the main actress, Sana Lathan.
Sanaa Lathan, yeah.
Oh, that's how'd you pronounce it? Sana?
Yeah.
She's a pretty decent actress. I just think she wasn't given a lot of great material.
Yeah,
And
she
what
wasn't.
what really made the whole movie seem like a cheap horror movie where they just threw in the aliens and the predator was the fact that the pyramid kept changing shape all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
that was weird.
It really took away from the film.
I think they did that because it gave. I think the predator. I guess they were trying to say that the predators maybe did that so that way it will make the hunt fun, or like maybe to like disrupt trespassers. I don't know. I mean, that wasn't really fully explained either. It just kind of just kept happening. It's a little weird.
I agree with you, you know, but still, it just
wasn't a great film.
I felt like it took away from the movie.
It did. It's if I don't know. It felt like the movie was trying to be something else, and I just felt like there wasn't really a lot of great explanation as to what was happening. Like I said, the whole reason for Bishop being there, I think that should have been like that should have had some kind of explanation behind it, because people who saw that film, just like me, for example, they're seeing Bishop and they're like, "Why is Bishop here? Wait, Bishop is human. Wait, what is happening?" That was
Yeah,
not
but the
explained.
thing is, you know, they expected you to get it without the explanation. You know, because you have to look at it. It's several hundred years in the future before they were like, "Oh, let's make the Bishop robot android look like Mr. Whalen." You know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say? Like
Yeah.
that should have been something that was said in the Aliens movie, and then when it's brought over into Aliens versus Predator, you're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
Yeah, that would have made sense. I was so
Yeah.
confused throughout that entire film. I was really confused.
Oh, and do you know Sana? How do you pronounce her name?
Sanaa
Sanana?
Lathan, Sanana,
Sanana?
Sanaa Lathan.
Sana?
Yeah,
You know who she is in the Blade movie, right?
yeah, she's Blade's mom.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was good
She
to
looks
see
so
her.
hot in that movie.
I don't like you said, they didn't give her that much great material. I think she's good as an actress. It's just I don't think that this was a good role for her in general. Honestly, it just felt a little weird and cheap.
To me, it kind of felt like an executive looked at the script and ripped out pages and told the writer, "Yeah, make them work now," because there are pieces of it that don't feel like they fit together, and it feels like there's some like clumsy dialogue that makes it all fit together.
Yeah, basically, I agree. Um,
Yeah.
And the film, spoilers, obviously, like I said, this film is years old, guys. The film ends with one of the predators getting how do you want to say it? I guess like one of the little alien spider things got on its face,
Face
and
hugger. That's what they're called.
the face huggers implanted an alien egg inside one of the aliens, and that leads into part 2, which is Aliens Requiem. I mean, Alien versus Predator Requiem. So that's just the sequel to Alien versus Predator. So
Which
overall,
I didn't even know existed.
I forgot it. I knew I heard about it a few years ago, but I completely forgot about it. Completely. Um. So yeah, Alien versus Predator. That literally was not good at all, in my opinion. Total thumbs down. Alien versus Predator, 2004. I mean, not 2004. Requiem, 2007 was directed by the Strauss brothers. Um, it was okay. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was like a middle of the road popcorn flick that I wouldn't watch again, basically. So it picks up where Alien versus Predator left off, where the Predator gets the alien symbiote, whatever you want to call it, inside his body. It eventually mutates into an alien slash predator creature, which looked really weird. Um, it somehow gets onto Earth because the plane that the Predator was in crashed onto Earth. The Predators come to Earth, try to get their pal basically, and the plane that crashed has a bunch of aliens on it, and it's just a Alien versus Predator rematch on Earth, basically. That's basically what the film is. Um, the mixed breed was a cool idea, I guess. It was something different. The part that was really cringy for me is when they had towards the end, one of the main characters said, "Get to the chopper." They legitimately they legitimately had a character say, "Get to the chopper," and I was like, "Why did they do that? Like, don't do that. That's Arnold's line. Let it stay with Arnold." I was a little upset that they did that. I know they're trying to give some like shout outs to the original film, but that was just a little cringy.
Hey,
So,
they did a shout out to the original film and Prey, but that worked.
yes, we'll get to it. I know. I think I know what line you're talking about. I think I know what line you're talking about. So yeah, you haven't seen Requiem, right, Los? I don't think.
No. Like I
Yes.
said, I didn't even know it existed. Now I want to watch it to see how bad it is.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like,
bad.
I want us to sit there and watch Morpheus to, like, tear it apart.
You know, I still haven't watched Morbius yet. Have you watched
I
it?
haven't watched that either. I'm
Um,
literally waiting to see if you want to join me in the let's rip apart this movie.
you know what? Next episode. You want to do that? We can rip it apart.
Hey,
Let's
sounds
do
like
it.
a plan. I'm down for that.
Let's rip it apart. We should have like episodes where we'll come up with like a special name for it. Where we rip apart really bad movies. We should just start doing that. Have that be a thing that we do ever so often.
No, you know what we should do? It should be where not only do we review it, we talk about where they went wrong and how they could do it better.
Ah, okay. I like that. I like that. Good idea. Planning for the next episode already, guys. This is what we do here.
Live on YouTube.
Exactly. So yeah, you're not really missing much if you don't watch Requiem. It seemed like it's something that they wanted to make a trilogy, but part 2 just didn't make enough money. Because obviously, because at the end of Alien versus Predator, they set up Alien versus Predator Requiem by showing that the alien coming out of the Predator's chest. So you already knew that after you had Alien versus Predator, there was going to be a sequel to it. Like, you already knew that.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't good enough for a third film.
I just kind of feel like with Predator movies, you don't need to set up a sequel. Like, you don't have to have like the last couple of shots go, "Oh, look, there's a sequel." I just kind of feel like Predator's one of those characters you can just drop into a new situation
Exactly.
and be like, "Okay, it's the next one."
Exactly. Legion in chat says, "Nah, Los, he's gonna sleep on the next. He's gonna sleep next to you on the couch." Really, Legion? Really? Oh,
Legion, that's
man.
why you my favorite.
I needed that laugh. That was a good laugh, though. Nice jab, but a good laugh nonetheless. Yeah. For anybody who needs context, I fell asleep watching Justice League Snyder Cut with Los, and we were looking forward to it for months, and I fell asleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
In my defense, I was tired from work. But anyways,
Oh, and my girl cooked up like all this food to make sure like
hey, I still
he.
stuff my face though. I still stuff my face.
Boy, you ate and fell asleep.
Listen, you know you can't feed a brother and then put him on a comfy couch and not expect him to get the itis. Okay, just saying.
Boy, you even found the my girl's throw blanket and wrapped yourself around
yeah,
it.
I sure did. I got the blanket. I got comfortable on the couch, and I was
Bro,
going.
he found it in his sleep.
Really? I found it in my sleep. I thought I got it when I
Yeah,
was
dude,
awake.
because she used to have it like where the couch is. There's sort of a little end table, and underneath it
Oh yeah.
was the blanket, and you literally sat up like as if somebody told you, and you grabbed it, opened it up, and put it on yourself, all asleep, eyes closed and everything.
Oh man. Yeah, man. I'm just natural in my sleep for grabbing the blanket. But yeah, that's Alien versus Predator. Requiem, in my opinion, the worst movie out of the entire franchise. Um, Predators, plural, 2010. This movie was interesting. Um, Basically, if you think battle royale style, you get a bunch of random people from different walks of life, drop them onto a random planet, and the predator is pretty much hunting you for sport. It's
Well,
their training grounds, if you will.
it goes under this where the whole premise of the film is the predators have a game reserve. So they
Yes.
kidnap different species, drop it on the game reserve, and they hunt. Um, I think this came out of Robert Rodriguez's film studio.
Yes, Robert Rodriguez. Yes, he was part of this film for sure. Which I didn't even know until like I watched the film. I was like, Robert Rodriguez did this film? What? I did not know
Bro,
that.
Danny Trejo's in it. That's like the dead giveaway.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because he's in everything Robert Rodriguez makes. So I should have figured that
Yeah.
out. Honestly though, I'm surprised I didn't watch this sooner. It was actually fun. It was a fun movie to watch. Just everything about it, like just it felt like compared to all the other Predator films, this one felt like very high quality. I felt like they gave some love into this film. It didn't look like a cheap action slash horror film. I liked all the different personalities. You got one guy who is part of the yakuza, one guy who just got out of jail. He's a rapist. One guy's a doctor. You got two people who are part of like U.S. Special Forces, so
Yes.
on and so forth. Really interesting personalities put together. We even have Morpheus in this film, which was a surprise.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in this film. Um, it's a good film. I like the one thing I like about the Predator franchise is that just like with John Wick, it all revolves around a code. There's a code to the hunt. There's respect, in regards to the hunt. Even the predators themselves, if you manage to whoop their butt, and when their team comes to pick up their fallen, they salute you. They could
Yeah.
kill you, but they salute you and they give you a reward for actually killing one of them. And I love the
Yes.
respect that comes with the predator culture, I guess, if you want to call it that, basically. Yeah, this was probably the most fun I've had in a Predator movie since the original Predator. I actually really enjoyed this. I'm surprised that I didn't see this sooner.
For me, Adrian Brody was the weak part of this film.
Which character is he? The doctor?
Royce, the main guy who survives.
Why do you think he was the weak character?
I just didn't like his performance.
Why was he too like, yeah,
No, it's
I'm
just
the alpha
I
male?
I could not believe he was that character.
It was very different compared to all the other characters he's ever played. I
Yeah.
did notice that. Like when I first watched it, I was like, oh, he's different in this movie.
Yeah,
you
to
know?
me he was the weak part of the movie.
I didn't see it as a weak part. It was just a little different. I'm not used to seeing him play that like broody tough guy from like the army. I'm just not used to
It,
seeing
it
that.
just it wasn't believable for me.
I feel you. I feel you.
You know,
Um,
not every movie's perfect. I mean, was it an enjoyable movie? Absolutely. Is it worth a rewatch? Absolutely.
yeah,
But I got tired of his character so much, so easily. If he said more than 3 lines, I was like, oh, shut up.
shut up already. The guy I didn't like um was the guy that played the doctor. I thought he was a little annoying. I forgot his name. See if I can find him. But the actor that played the doctor in that film, I thought it was a little annoying. I feel like I don't know. I feel like he was over the top a little too much in certain scenes. Like he was trying to get too much attention. It was just a little weird.
But every Predator movie has a goofy character.
Yeah, I get it. I guess I
So
gotta,
it's part of the,
accept
except
that.
in Prey. Prey, they broke that formula. But
Yes, they did.
I just kind of felt like that was just one of the tropes of Predator. They always have a goofy character.
Yeah, I noticed it almost immediately when all the characters met each other. I was like, oh, yep, that's the goofy one. Like I just, because like you said, it is kind of a thing. It's got to be one goofy guy, and I immediately recognized like, all right, there's Arnold, there's this guy, there's the goofy guy. All right, we're set, we're ready to go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, one scene I loved in this film was the scene with the Yakuza guy going one on one with Predator and his nice samurai sword, and
Yes.
they did a nice wide shot, and it looked like a scene from like a Japanese film, and the grass was like swaying in the wind. I was like, oh, this is such a beautiful shot. I loved it. I was afraid that shot was going to only last like maybe like 5 seconds. He was going to kill the guy and then be done with it. We got a
Yeah.
decent amount of time with those two fighting, and it was really awesome to see Mr. Yakuza like getting into a sword fight with the Predator. Like that's something I would have never thought I would have seen. It was nice, and it was a really really good shot. I almost want the next Predator film to be in Japan, just because of that. Just because of that.
Well, I want to see more Predators in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about
Prey
why pretty
Prey
soon.
made me realize that the story's better in the past.
Yeah. On that note, let's just jump into the next one. Then. Let's just do that. Prey 2022 just came out 2 days ago, starring Amber Mid Thunder. This movie,
Who's super cute, by the way.
random fact for this movie, this is the highest Rotten Tomato score Predator movie out of all the Predators.
Yes.
The highest. This one I think got like a 90 something, and the second was the original Predator, which got an 80. And I saw that before I saw this film, and I was like, "There's no way. What, a Predator movie better than the original Predator? There's no way." Because all the other ones were good, but nowhere near as good as the original. Every single last one of them. And I was like, there is no way that this one that went straight to Hulu is going to be better than the original Predator.
There's well, here's the thing. One, this is the first movie ever made in Comanche, where there is a version of the movie where you could watch with the Comanche dub,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole thing is spoken in Comanche.
Really?
And yes, and I didn't watch. I watched the English version first, and then I watched the Comanche version.
Wow.
Much better in Comanche, in the sense of you feel the emotions a little better because you don't understand the language. You're
Yeah.
really going off the tones of what they say. Amazing.
Interesting. Wow.
The second thing is what I enjoyed about Prey so much. It was an almost silent film.
Yes, it was.
There was very little noise. The environment you heard, footsteps you heard, but the dialogue, they only spoke when they needed to.
Yeah. Agreed. 100% agree. I have to also agree with
That made it creepier too.
I have to also agree with one thing that you said, where you said you feel like you want another Predator movie that is within that time period that we got in Prey. And I agree. I was like, I like how grounded this feels. This felt so grounded, even more grounded than we had in the original Predator movie. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love that movie so much. It's in the middle of the jungle. There's no special tech. We're not in the city and we don't have any extra distractions. No, it's just you in the jungle. And I feel like that's where the Predator movies do well, is within that type of environment.
The other thing about this movie is the Predator didn't rely on a lot of high tech.
No,
He
yep.
really more wanted to stab chop people up, all his prey. Like he really wanted to go one on one with
And
creatures.
I think that's why I loved it more, because it was because what we're getting with Prey is we're getting a prequel. This all happened before the original Predator. This was 300 years ago. This is in the early 1700s. And the way the Predator overall, when the Predator hunts over time, he evolves. His weapon evolves. His the way he fights, the way he goes on hunts, it evolves over time based off of each civilization, based off of each um whatever culture that he hunts. It evolves over time, and you see that in this film. I was surprised to see the Predator use arrows. He had arrows. So when he had his little shoulder gun on his neck, he shot arrows out of that. It wasn't bullets. It wasn't like a plasma bullet or
No,
anything
they
like
were
that.
guided missiles.
Oh, those were.
Because remember,
I thought those were
they
arrows.
hit where the red dot was, so they were guided missiles.
But like even after he shot somebody, he pulled it back out of the person.
Yeah, they're reusable because they're
Oh.
non-explosive.
Oh, okay. It gave me the idea of like arrows basically, and I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, it's and like
What
the oh, go ahead.
what I enjoyed was the fact that it felt like it was the first time the predator was on the planet, because he was trying to figure out who was the prey, who
Yeah,
was the hunters, and who he's going after, and the simple fact that he even fought a bear hand to hand. Like you saw the wolf when he fought the wolf, how he had his camouflage on, but the wolf is like, I don't need to see you, I just need to smell you,
exactly.
and I'm
Yeah,
still going
exactly.
after you. So
Exactly.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I also love the design of the Predator in this film. It was so primal. It was very primal. He almost had like like a skull of a creature as his mask, basically.
Yeah,
In the kills, the way he killed a lot of the people in this film was just so brutal and just vicious, but yet he did it with style, and it was like elegance to it. As crazy as it sounds, there was like an elegance to it. Yeah, it's this felt like Predator was in its natural habitat, and it felt like he belonged in this kind of film. And I kind of like the Predator in this kind of environment, to be honest with you, compared to what we got in Predator 2 and Predators and all that stuff like that. This just felt so good. And like you said, I want more. I hope we can get a sequel to Prey in some kind of weird way. I don't know how they would do it, but I think that'd be interesting.
well, the other thing is too is um this film respected the Comanche culture, and representatives from the tribe have said this film is the most accurate to how our lives was back then.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that they made an excellent movie respecting someone's culture, showing you a different side of the predator, showing you a different physique of the predator, because the
Yeah.
predator was not only looked a little more primal, he seemed more like a runner. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that
Yeah,
runner
he
type of
did.
slimmer
Yeah, he was
shape.
very slim in this
Yeah.
one.
So I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the simple fact of you see the predator um, being more of a hunter than Jason in Friday the 13th. Like this stalker who's out to kill everyone.
That is very
Because
true. Very true.
you almost felt like you watched the film, you almost felt like there was a thought process behind him.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just a big monster. It was a thought process of a hunter.
Yeah.
Let me look. Let me learn. Let me observe. This is what's going on.
Yeah. True.
And the
The-
limited weapons help push the story forward.
It did. Like his technology, which his shield that he had in this film, by the way, freaking awesome. Loved it. Um, his limited technology did make him more interesting because, like you said, it made him think more as a killer, be more strategic in the way that he went about things. You know,
Yeah.
I freaking loved it. I definitely see myself watching this movie multiple times. It was just such a good film, and the fact that he was hunting this tribe, just seeing how they live, how they went about things, how they made medicine, and how they took care of each other and things like that. That made it more interesting. Like I wanted to learn more about this tribe in the process of them going through what they went through. So it's honestly hands down. I have to agree. This is probably, in my opinion, the best Predator film,
Yeah.
hands down. And Predator 1, the original, will come right after that. Awesome film. Freaking loved it.
I don't know if it's the best, but it's best definitely tied with the first.
Yeah.
You know, I also like the fact that they showed the main character, Naru.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't make it a superwoman. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like a lot of these Predator movies, like a lot of Hollywood movies, when there's like a female lead, they make her into like the human version of Wonder Woman. And and that's always just kind of like, you've gone too far. Show her with some flaws. Show her learning things. Show her thinking. And in this movie, they did that with her, and it really made you connect with the character more. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a really good point. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, I was almost kind of waiting for like what you said, like that Wonder Woman moment, because yeah, first they start off weak, and then later on they're like, all right, I'm super powerful. I got these weapons. Let me go kick your butt now. And I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking, how is she going to fight this thing? She is this puny little girl who weighs like 100 pounds, soaking wet, and she's going up against this mammoth of a creature. She's supposed to beat this thing, and I like the fact that they kept her. I don't want to say weak, but vulnerable. She knew
they
she
kept
couldn't
her
do it.
human.
They kept her human. Yes, that's probably the best way to put it. They kept her human, and she even said it a few times in the film, like I'm no threat to you. Like I can't beat you. I'm not a threat. But being that
No, no,
I'm
no.
not a
She
threat,
said, it thinks I'm not a threat.
well, she also said at one point she was like, "I'm not a threat to." No, I think her brother said that, something like that. Maybe I'm confusing the lines. But yeah, it thinks that she's not a threat, so it's not going to attack her. It should use that to her advantage.
Yeah.
Um, and she knew she wasn't going to be able to beat this thing like hand to hand. She just wasn't. She wasn't strong enough, and her skills
But she
just
kind of
weren't.
did.
She kind of did. She definitely held her own. She definitely held her own. But she had to use its own weapons against him to like really beat this guy, and she had to use her brain. She wasn't going to beat him physically, so she knew she had to use her brain to beat this guy. And I'm glad that, like you said, they didn't use that Wonder Woman method of like, all right, well, she's weak now, and now she's strong. She's gonna go body slam him. I like that
The
they went a different way with it.
Yeah. The three things that I liked that they did callbacks from the original Predator was she found a way to use camouflage through medicine by accident.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
They remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first one was up against all these logs and he was yelling at him, "Come on, kill me!"
Oh,
Trying to get the thing to fall into the trap.
yeah.
They pulled that off, and they pulled it off very well
Mm-hmm.
with her. And last but not least, the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it,"
Oh
was
yeah.
repeated from the first one, and it was done perfectly because it fit into the story, and it seems like something someone would say.
I feel like a lot of times when movies have sequels and they try to do callback lines, it does come off cheesy. Just like I said with the
Yeah.
guy in Alien vs Predator, get back, like go get to the chopper. I was like, like why'd you do that? It felt forced. It felt cheesy. But when she performed the lines in this movie, I almost forgot that it was a line in the original. It just felt so natural. It didn't feel
Her
like it was
brother
a
said it.
forced line. Oh, her
Her
brother. Oh
brother
yeah,
said
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it didn't feel forced. It felt like a natural line. I literally forgot. And after he said it, I was like, that sounds familiar. Was that in the original? Like I didn't think about it like that. So it felt so natural. So great film. I was really surprised that it was as good as it was. Not gonna lie, I was very surprised. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for everybody who's watching this live on YouTube. So if you guys listen to the audio version, check us out up on YouTube, man. Give us a subscribe over there or a thumbs up and rate us in the audio podcast realm as well. It
Oh, and
pushes
thank you
us
to
up.
Dark Legion for reminding us about the chocolate bunnies.
And thank you for Dark Legion for giving a thumbs down for no reason that motivated my team to play better and win tonight. So yeah, how does it feel, Los? How does it feel knowing that your boys lost the Gangrene, the true
Wait,
Gangrene?
wait. Is it preseason?
Oh wow.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to verify that.
Gee
Is it
whiz.
preseason?
Oh, now we're
Okay.
using the preseason thing. Okay.
Hey,
I
man,
get
listen.
it.
You know what? The one thing Eagles fans and Jets fans have in common, it's hard to be a fan of a team that keeps screwing up the simplest thing.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. I mean,
So
yeah, we
that's
always
fine.
find a way to shoot ourselves in the foot. That's what we've been doing for years.
Yeah, I just hope the Eagles fans don't flip the Jets bus because
Oh yeah, yeah. Leaving that stadium is probably gonna be a little rough tonight, even though it's a
yeah,
preseason
because
game.
I had to tell KJ that Eagles fans threw snowballs at their own team when they played badly. And if you don't believe me, look it up.
It's horrible, horrible. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. You guys have a good rest of your weekend, and we will catch you guys later.
Later.